Welcome back, everybody. I am entering what I am hopeful may be one of the last installments of the Painscreek killings. Um, I am standing in front of the sewer entrance. If I go up the steps here and to the left, that's the Roberts Mansion. Down the steps here, towards the town square. So this is I know I'm going to find some stuff down here that, depending on how it's presented, may scare the bejeebus out of me. So, I do warn you that there may be screaming. Also, so this is the sewer map, and this is the sewer entrance, I believe, where we are going to be coming down. Okay? I can see that things are blocked off. Um, so I don't, you can only go so far. But my plan is, once I enter, probably go left, and just check out all this area over here. Then come back, go left again, clear that, and then go south, go towards the farmer's market, and then we'll make a decision once we get to here. Things that I know that we need to go do. Need to go to the Painscreek Community Hospital. And I think that there will likely be some. I mean, we've been around the church a lot, but maybe going out that way before we do the rest of this. And the reason for that is, yes, because I'm terrified of everything all the time, but the I imagine that this will yield less results, this part of the map, because of how much we still don't have about the Painscreek Community Hospital. So, here we go. I've always been kind of a scaredy cat, but I also really love scary movies. Um, but my favorite scary movies are generally ones that don't scare you if you have, like, I was gonna say sense, but that's too mean. Don't scare you if you come in and just are already ready to condescend to them. But movies, I've seen quite a few movies that that I did feel truly terrified by. Hereditary being one of those, which I'm kind of still not over, really. There's a door here, a ladder up. Okay. Ugh. I really, really do hate this sound effect that they're using. Something about, it's interesting thinking it just about horror in general, that I normally associate that with high-pitched sounds, or like really, like scrapes and screaming. Ooh, oh, that's where I came in. My bad. A little bit of relief before we go back into hell. But there's actually something considerably and more consistently scary to me about those deep sounds. I think it has something to do with, I'm just going to be whistling in the sewer. So I'm just going to rattle on nervously. But I think I think it has something to do with, like, my association with, like, that I feel like, I've always been terrified by, like, underwater sea wrecks and just, like, terror of the high seas, I guess, and the kind of that sound that effect that they're using every time you try to open a door like that, like a really heavy door, is very it feels very like submerged as a sound. I'm starting to lean back as I go around this corner. Like I was physically leaning back. So while the game has not like outright tried to terrify us, or like jump scared us, it did try to terrify us with the appearance of an apparition above the Painscreek Community Hospital. In a dark dress, which is also kind of scary because the only dark dress that, like, we haven't been told about an apparition in a dark dress as far as I know, although it could be something about how it's rendering, and it could be a situation where it's just where I was seeing it in the light. But okay, I think I'm here. So we're gonna go left, explore all of this, run back here, go down, and then go to the hospital, I guess. So I kind of wonder if the person in the dark dress is Vivian. If there are two people. But truly, we've only heard documentation of one, so that's why it feels like it's quite possible that I was supposed to see a white dress and I just didn't. Okay, so there's definitely gonna be stuff over there, but right now, that's where I'm stuck. So I'm gonna turn back around, go down. When I see something on my left, that's the post office, and then I'll take another left and then go up. It's really interesting that so we've seen the well where Sophia drowned. Or, well, I don't know if she drowned. They said that she was dead. Henry Johnson, the doctor, said that she was dead, and then they dumped her body in the well. Okay, so we've seen the location where the well is, but we did not see the same apparition that other people say that they've been seeing. We know that it's out near the Hunter cabins, and that's where the apparition that was in a white dress who helped kids was. So, why are we, like, we have not seen Sophia, at least up close, and especially if she's a helpful ghost. But I wonder if there is a second woman in a dark dress, who could that be? Well, we know of two other women who have been murdered in this town, and one of those is Vivian, but the other one is Magdalene, who is Charles's mother. So I wonder if that's part of what we're being communicated. Okay, so I'm gonna just orient myself. So this is the post office. Go left. I guess this is a... Yeah, these are all doors. That makes sense. And this is probably going to be cut off. And this is to the Painscreek River. So I'll try that and then go on towards the Painscreek Community Hospital. Of course, of course, you know, just talking this out makes even more evident that it's going to be that I'm probably going to see something down here at the hospital. So I can also guess that Painscreek, Silver Lake, something. So if this is locked, it said that it was locked from the other side, which I think means that I can expect to go up over to the Trinity Church and then down. One thing that I find pretty interesting about this game is that there is no such thing as fast traveling. The only fast travel you can do is literally go straight to the end of the game. So, there is a buzzy electronic sound in the soundtrack and it scared me. I can't even remember what I was saying now. I will add, I think that I figured out something. Of course, this is the only one that opens. Okay, off to Painscreek Community Hospital. I'm starting to squint, because that's the only way I have to protect myself. Oh, one kind of doesn't even register as a minor mystery, but there was a note in the Roberts' mansion about a missing case of Da Vinci wine, and I think that the conclusion that we're actually supposed to draw is that it's Andrew's. Andrew stole it. Also, so I'm in the... Oh god. But anyway, that means that Andrew just stole the case of wine. So it's not really a super huge mystery, but... Oh god, this is the morgue. Alright, let's do it. Oh, keys. Lots of keys. Oh, yikes. Here's our guy. Very dirty wallet. This is the private investigator. The briefcase in his room. BH. Who is BH? Alright. 4/16/97. This is Steve Moss's diary. I called Dorothy last week. She told me something interesting about Sophia. There was a puzzle she received from Matthew when she first started working at the mansion, sort of a birthday gift for her. In that puzzle, Sophia was to visit both hers and Matthew's favorite locations in Painscreek. In each location lies a clue that Matthew had written on the wall of the building exterior. The clues, when put together, will point to her the location of her gift. I thought that was a neat idea. Sophia's favorite places: Anne's courtyard, Inn and Suites, the bridge over the stream by the gate entrance, and the post office. Why would someone like the post office? And where can I find Matthew's favorite places? Okay. So, in each location lies a clue that Matthew had written on the wall of the building exterior. So, when I guessed that the code on the outside, I just had it stuck in my head and started putting it in wherever I could find a place, and I unlocked that early. So, interesting. I wonder what the other clue was. I received 42097. I received an anonymous message this morning. It claimed that Scott wasn't Vivian's killer. Unfortunately, that's all I got. I've had my doubts whether Scott really killed Vivian. He sure had the motive, but upon reading all of his diaries and looking through his investigation notes, I can't help but think that Scott didn't kill Vivian. On the contrary, he was trying to find out who killed Vivian, as well as what really happened to Andrew Reed and Dr. Johnson. Scott was trying to find out who killed Vivian? 42697. I still don't know if this anonymous person is a man or a woman, but they've helped solidify my thoughts on Scott. Okay. 42997. I received another message yesterday. It told me to look into Bernard, the mansion's butler. I can't help but feel this person is trying to tell me something, but not exactly what. The message said I will find something in the house. Today I received a key in the mail with the initials BH. Does this stand for Bernard's house? There are multiple places in his house that were locked. 43097. I've searched everywhere and read all of Bernard's diaries. Something just doesn't add up. Maybe it's just a hunch, or simply that I'm thinking too much. But would he have really killed Vivian? There's something else about his entries that make me pause and wonder if he was indeed a murderer. I photographed all the pages. I think he was doing something for her. Okay, well, that's not all of Steve's stuff. If the ghost is Sophia, or at least one of the ghosts is Sophia, like, wouldn't she have wanted to help? The private investigator? He was trying to, like, clear her son's name? So that makes me feel like it's a real person. Like a non-apparition that hurt Steve. Oh, good. Is that all it took? Doesn't seem like it. No other switches? That's not it. I turned it on. What else do I need to do? Like, I'm not even being given a prompt to do anything about it. Well, maybe the stairs aren't what I should be caring about anyway. Or excuse me, the elevator. Maybe that's not the point. I'm trying to remember where the room was that I could use his key card. It wasn't the second floor, it was this floor. I thought, but now I've gone all the way around. I just know that there's something coming, so I'm just like constantly braced. Alright, doofus. Where did you see that keycard door? Well, since I'm not even looking closely enough to know if I missed it on the first floor, I better do just one more look. Yeah, okay, it is the first floor. That's where I found the card. Thought it was somewhere over here. It was against a long wall, I thought. Now I'm just annoyed with myself. And also terrified. Yeah, I knew it. It felt like it was in sight of the... Alright. So this is Dr. Henry Johnson's office. And where I'm standing, a ghost has been seen. So, probably should be ready for that. These are the same medical journals that had Charles Roberts' hidden room. Okay, Vivian Roberts. To Vivian Roberts. Oh, no, sorry. From Vivian Roberts. May 29th, 1993, so 2 years-ish before the murder of Vivian. Dear Dr. Henry Johnson, I would like to thank you for your contribution to the Painscreek Community Hospital and the people of Painscreek for the past 2 decades. However, there have been reports regarding the mishandling of funds designated for PCH, most of which came from the Roberts Relief Fund. The support was meant to help with the purchases of medical equipment and supplies. Since a sum of nearly $160,000 has been estimated missing, we have no other choice but to open an investigation. Until you are able to explain the discrepancies between your accounting and ours, we have no choice but to suspend all funding for the hospital for the time being. I will be meeting you and your accountant to solve these issues so we may continue to support the hospital's needs. Well, that's a motive. Okay, so July 13th, 1995. And I feel like... Hold on. Henry Johnson died July 13th, 1995. What's his name? Who is the... Yeah, James Howard. July 30th. Held this afternoon. I'm trying to figure out if I ever realized when Vivian was murdered. Who was talking about Mary Martinez? July 12th. The police came by and asked if Vivian would be willing to go to the station for another interview. Okay, so yeah, what I was trying to verify was that he died before her. Otherwise, yeah, that would absolutely be a motive.
Henry, I just received a letter from the energy investigation firm regarding the use of the RF funds. I need you to call me. Henry, we really need to talk. Please call back. What's going on, Henry? Why aren't you returning my calls? This is really important.
So that was most certainly Vivian. To Charles Roberts, I don't know if it's a joke that you sent me the threat letter, but if you knew about the well, then you must have found out the truth. Just so you know, your wife was the one behind all of it. If you have any grudge, it's with her, not me. I was just a witness in Sophia's death, nothing more. June 30th, 1995. And one thing that we know from... One thing we know from... I guess it would be the newspaper. July 13th, May 30th, or excuse me, June 30th is when he was going to send that letter. Johnson last checked in on June 28th, 1995. But he was definitely at the hospital on June 30th. I know what you did. Meet me by the well at midnight. You know which one. Come alone. Okay, this offset E, it's not on any of the typewriters that we've seen so far, so I feel like once we find that typewriter, we'll know who sent those letters. Unless I'm just reading too much into it, which they've laid quite a bit of track for that to not be what happens, but okay. Okay, so I just got the key to 203, which I believe was Trisha's room. But I could be wrong about that. And the book. I thought I took multiple pictures of it, actually, so that's annoying. Because I thought I had to go back and do it. Because I forgot the first time. Well, okay. The nurse logbook. I'm looking for the patient's registry, though. It doesn't matter. We'll get there. Just annoyed that I can't find it. Okay. 203, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Woo. Oh. Might help if I tried it on the right door. So I'm trying to think about what mysteries we have left. We still don't know who killed Vivian. We still don't know what happened to Henry Johnson. We don't know what happened to Trisha or Scott or Matthew. So there are lots of people that we're not sure where they are or what's happened. Okay, yeah, so we know that Trisha asked all of her books to be brought to the hospital. Okay. Did Trisha jump from the roof? Is that who jumped from the roof? A room key. July 27th, 1995. Yesterday, on hearing that Scott was apprehended for the murder of her mother, Trisha collapsed. The hospital called this morning to inform us that it was just a nervous breakdown. However, they've suggested that she should stay there for another few days. Charles is asking me to stay by her side. August 3rd, 1995. It rained today. Trisha has always hated the rain. She stayed in bed, tucked under the blanket, nearly the entire day. Here and there she mutters Scott's name out loud. She cried herself to sleep a few times. It pains me to see her like this. August 22nd, 1995. Charles visits Trisha almost every day. Today he was quieter than usual. All of a sudden he told me that Vivian had been seeing another man, apparently a banker, for more than a year. He asked me if Vivian ever talked to me about it. I said I didn't know anything, but I was sure that Vivian would never have done such a thing. Then I realized that Trisha was awake. I'm not sure if she heard our conversation. A banker. Is that like one of the people who've been sending letters to them about money and backing them? September 8th, 1995. Sheriff Howard came today. He asked me if I remember seeing anything suspicious the night Vivian died. I've already told him everything I know. It's frustrating to be asked over and over about things that I just want to forget. Before he left, I asked if Scott could really be the killer. He said he's wondering the same thing. If Scott was not the killer, then who killed Vivian? Well, that's the question. September 16th, 1995. Derek came by to see Trisha. I asked him how he was doing. He said that the medical expenses for Wanda were more than he expected. Even with Charles's help, he's been forced to use up most of his savings. He's currently searching for a second job. He asked me if there was a future for him. Traveling with Charles made him see some of the rather ugly sides of the world. His mother is hospitalized with terminal cancer, and seeing his best friend Trisha like this pains him. I don't know what to tell him. Before he left, he leaned close to her and whispered, "Would it have been better if Scott had just never showed up? Would you have chosen me?" I wish that I never heard that. So it seems outlandish, but I did have the thought that maybe Derek was trying to frame Scott. Oh, wow. Okay, so November 16th, 1995. Oh. September 16th, 1995. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Alright. Scott Brooks's body found by jogger with multiple stab wounds to the heart. Police unsure if events are tied to the killing of Vivian Roberts. Scott Brooks, the murder suspect on the Vivian Roberts case, was killed yesterday. His body was found on the roadside along Maple Drive. At around 6:50 a.m., a jogger happened to see a body lying motionless on the side of the road behind the bush while doing his morning run. He just stopped to check if the person needed help, only to notice that the body was covered in blood. He immediately called 911. The police arrived shortly at around 7 a.m., and the victim was pronounced dead. The time of death was predicted to be about 4 to 6 hours ago, putting... this, like, the turnaround of this paper. The time of death... It's more like a bulletin that goes out. The time of death was predicted to be about 4 to 6 hours ago, putting the time of death between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. So questions have been raised pertaining to the murder of Vivian Roberts, especially since Scott was released from prison and the story continues. Scott's body was found behind the bush, on Maple Drive. The police are currently investigating the case. Well, this is definitely Maple Drive. Like, if we go up that way, we leave the game. So going this way is definitely, behind the bush on Maple Drive. Like, near the sewer? So this is definitely, oh yeah, I didn't even have to look, Dorothy Patterson's. This is the room. Okay, this window, below this window, down the side of the building, is a chalk outline. So. Alright, let's look at our inventory and see what we need to do next. I have no idea why I have this hammer. Hope I don't have to use it. Or on anybody, at least. Briefcase key. Hopkins. And this is next to Dorothy Patterson's diary, which we saw. We saw that she had a lot of stuff that we needed to dig into. So, okay. Should I look at the top of the building when I leave? I bet they want me to. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is get that briefcase so we can get some more clues. And then I want to go to Dorothy's house because I was really disappointed when I went there before. So I think, well, actually, if I go in order, it would be like the easiest route would be Dorothy, then the briefcase in the inn, and then the hospital morgue. So I'm gonna cut the video right here, but I'm gonna be back in just a little bit to finish this up. Hopefully, maybe, who knows.